So it's important then that we keep in mind the principle of Sabbath, which is, first of all, that the Ten Commandments show us that the proper priorities in order are God, worship, rest, family, and then work. We spend 6 days working and think that that's what makes it a top priority, but actually in the order of commandments, it's at the bottom. So it's God, worship, rest, then our family, and then work. So it's not a matter of the amount of time that we spend doing this or that. It's about what we give the best of ourselves to. We give the best of ourselves to God, and we do it at the first day of the week. For them, it was the last day of the week between Friday and Saturday. For us, though, because Jesus rose again on Sunday, we worship on Sunday as a sign of that new creation that He has begun. So the old creation then ended on that seventh day. God created and then He rested. The new creation was inaugurated in Christ in His death and His resurrection and ascension, and that new creation is even now being enacted. And so we then follow that resurrection of Christ and we worship on Sunday. So Sunday is the Christian Sabbath, we could say. And in order to keep that Sabbath principle, then, we worship and we rest on Sunday. We do it as a sign of the covenant, that complete self-donation that we have entered into with God by virtue of our baptism and confirmation and the other sacraments. When we worship and rest properly on Sunday, then we have kept the Sabbath principle. Remember that Sabbath means rest. God has provided for the physical rest of His people, and He has done so by giving us Sunday, by giving us that Sabbath rest for both our souls and our bodies. But in this particular episode, we're just looking at the body, because the body cannot rest properly if it doesn't make Sabbath then a priority. And we worship and we rest. We haven't worshiped properly if we haven't rested, and we haven't rested properly unless we've worshiped. So those two things go together on Sabbath. We can't separate them. And we see that those who profane the Sabbath then suffer particular consequences.